All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. The big viral thing on the internet is the Luigi Mangione 286 conspiracy theory. And to make a long story short, we're going to cut to how this is pointing to the Ides of March, the day to remember the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC. And remember, they said that Mangione shot Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, at 6:44 a.m. in the morning. And as we pointed out, that was 44 months after Brian Thompson had become the CEO. And it was in front of the building where Donald Trump was the night of the 2016 selection when he became the 45th president-elect, but truly the 44th person to be elected president because of Grover Cleveland's split term. And of course, 44 is a number connected to killing and assassinations throughout history. MLK on 44, Malcolm X on 44, date numerology. His assassin got 44 years in prison. JFK was number 35, but the 44th term president. Mangione was arrested one day after the 44th anniversary of the assassination of John Lennon in New York. So we're going to bring all this together and we're going to talk about where 286 fits in. A lot of this information that's being put out there on the web right now about 286 is being exaggerated and false stats are being added. We're going to clarify that too, but we're going to get to, again, how 286 ties in with the Ides of March and why it does look like they are signaling another related event coming on the Ides of March, which is March 15th, 2025. So let's go over it. Again, the 286 thing begins because on his Twitter, he had 286 posts, and one of the drawings, if you will, up at the top was of a Pokemon character, which is literally the 286th character in the series. So pretty interesting. Now, what's viral on the internet is this list, and some of this list is not true. So there is something called a medical denial code 286. That is true. He does have 286 posts on his Twitter, and the Pokemon thing is true. But one of the viral details is that he was detained 286 miles from the scene of the shooting. That's false. That's easy to verify. Just plug in the two addresses. They're about 232 miles apart, to be exact. I don't think his McDonald's receipt is anywhere on the internet, so I think that's a bogus claim that the receipt was $2.86. If somebody has that information, please let me know. One of the viral claims is that he has 286 followers on Spotify. That's not exactly correct. He has 286 public playlists on Spotify with 74 followers. And we're going to get to that because the 74th day of the year is the Ides of March, which has a 286 connection. This other thing about him having 28.6% of the House delegates, I don't know where that came from. Am I talking too loud? Sorry, sweet girl. I don't know where that came from. And yes, Proverbs 28:6 does kind of fit with the theme. Better is the poor who walks in the integrity than he who is crooked through he be rich. We see where that fits in with health insurance industry and a wealthy CEO. But again, here's his Spotify. You can see that, let's see. You can see that he has 286 public playlists and 74 followers on those 286 public playlists. And again, from the Manhattan Hilton Hotel to the McDonald's, not 286 miles, but really not a big detail. Notice though that the McDonald's was at 407 East Plank Road. Remember, Donald Trump elected number 47. He was in the Midtown Hilton Hotel back in 2016, the night of the selection. Again, that building is 47 floors tall, 47 suites. Again, 47 is a very important number to the presidency as well as Caesar. And the Ides of March is to remember the killing of Caesar. Again, in Gematria, Caesar equates to 47, like president, like White House, like government, like authority, like Republican, like Democrat, like Trump. Elected number 47 this time. But yes, this 286 thing, it's right here. In Jewish gematria, Ides of March equates to 286. And again, it's celebrated on March 15th. I just brought this up, actually, the Ides of March, when we first talked about this video, the parallels to the killing of Bob Lee. Remember, Bob Lee, the man who invented Square and CashApp, was killed on April 4th, 4/4. And it was interesting because on the Ides of March, the Federal Reserve had put out a memo saying they'd begin certifying the FedNow digital currency system the first week of April. So they put that out on the Ides of March, and then Bob Lee gets killed on 4/4. And there were 2 killings in San Francisco that day, a 44-year-old professional cyclist, and Bob Lee, who if I remember correctly, was age 43, thus in his 44th year of life. But then they put out the apartment of his killer, and we talked about him being in apartment 201. And the next thing you knew, the FedNow system went live on the 201st day of the year. Of course, 201 is the number of the Jesuits, and that's who gave us the calendar and the language. And in this case, they said Luigi Mangione idolized the Unabomber, and he was arrested 201 days after the Unabomber's birthday anniversary. So also interesting in satanic gematria, Disney's 286, because remember, they put out the viral image of him with a Happy Meal with the Disney Lion King, Simba on the Happy Meal. Simba has that gematria 44, just like how when Donald Trump was at the White House for the White House Correspondents' Dinner, April 30th, 2011, in the time of Obama. Obama showed the footage of the Lion King and said it was proof that he was actually born in Africa, and he was Simba. Simba has the gematria 44. And then right after that, he told the joke about how Trump would become number 45. 45 days before Trump's birthday was April 30th, 2011, but it was also the 45th birthday of the Church of Satan, where the highest degree of the Church of Satan is mega. So anyhow, Ides of March is definitely the 286. It is interesting that Disney's 286 and satanic. And again, if you're new here, the typical ciphers we look at. Hold on here. We got to calm down for sweet girl. Is Daddy being too loud? Okay. The 4 base ciphers of the English language that we typically look at are right here: the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, in both orders with numerology. His Twitter account is Pep Mangione, and you can see how Pep Mangione equates to 115 and 61, just like assassin. Remember, the election was on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November, important day to the Jesuits, the day they tried to assassinate King James, who died at age 58, like how Trump won the 58th election. And he celebrated in the same Midtown Hilton Hotel where this assassination happened. Remember, CEO equals 58, so does Luigi. Brian Thompson's full name equals 271, the 58th prime. But anyway, notice how assassin and Ides of March also overlap with the 101 and the 61. And keep in mind, 61 is kind of like January 6th. Excuse me. 6/1, American Civil War began in 1861. Lincoln and JFK both took office in the year 61, 1861, 1961. Both were assassinated. Excuse me. They were both elected in 60, like this was the 60th election. But anyway, Ides of March and assassin both have the 101. Don't forget also that the Trump assassination hoax of July 13th was 115 days before the November 5th election, or that he took office with the 115th Congress back in 2017, or that the 115th World Series was perfectly synced with him. Hey, anyway, that's when the Nationals won. But notice, the assassination in New York was 101 days before the Ides of March. Assassin and Ides of March, 101, right? In our standard ciphers. In Jewish gematria, it's 286. So this is how these things fit together. And again, just coming back to his public playlists with 74 followers. Again, Ides of March is the 74th day of the year. Again, Lenin 74, assassinated in New York. This man arrested one day after the 44th anniversary. We talk about where this fit in with Jay-Z too, who was accused of rape on that same day, and he had the Black Album, a play on the Beatles' White Album. Oswald, we're going to come back to where Oswald fits in more. He killed the 44th term president, JFK. Again, killing, stabbing, both 74. 74th day of the year. Remember the killing of Caesar by stabbing in 44 BC. Masonic occult. The list goes on. English, Gematria, holiday, Jewish, a big long 74 list. Super special number to the code. But anyway, what I also want to make the point about, you guys, is how this stuff goes viral. Stuff goes viral on the internet. And I mean, everywhere, I mean, not everywhere, but all over the internet, this is being posted about, and nobody really has a clue what it means, even though it takes 5 seconds to figure out. I mean, literally, I woke up after not sleeping all night, because we got the little one here. She doesn't like to sleep at night. She likes to go to bed at like 5 in the morning. But again, I mean, just knowing that it's number rituals every day, like, why is this viral with no conclusive evidence? And why are there so many false things at it? Just, you guys, be careful about the stuff that goes viral on the internet. There's a reason they always tie in a lot of false details. And so you go out there and then somebody looks at it and they're like, there's nothing about 286 miles away. You just got done reading this list about how they were 286 miles away. They're not. Again, they do this on purpose. It's to make you look silly. And then most people don't look into it any further than that. They're like, oh, so you got to add fake things to your list. So obviously you're full of it. But anyway, let's take it from the top. Let's put it all together one more time. Again, if you're new here, the 4 base ciphers of the English language. I learned about this in Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages, a book published in 1926. And 26 is a very special number, just like how they got to tell you the shooter's 26 years old. Again, it's not arbitrary that there's a 26-letter alphabet. I wrote all about this in my first book that I wrote back in 2017, Letters and Numbers. You should read about the significance of 26. It's a magical number. But back when I first started in 2013, almost all my work was in this one cipher, the alphabetic order with numerology. This is the one cipher that Manly P. Hall focuses on the most in his book. And you can just see the shooter's name is the same as United Healthcare. I mean, what are the odds of that just right off the top? You know, what are the odds of that? You'll notice this stuff all the time if you pay attention to the encoded news. But let's go through it all again one more time. Altoona equals 78, and it's on the 78th meridian west, okay? And it's interesting because they drew the parallels with him and the Unabomber. The Unabomber had died 78 weeks before his arrest. 78 weeks before his arrest, the Unabomber dies. And again, he's arrested at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Again, Trump's just served French fries at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania on Kamala's 60th birthday. And of course, in Gematria, French fries is 60, and that was right before the 60th election. But understand, we'd already been pointing out the parallels between the assassination happening at this building. Again, the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel with 47 suites, 47 days before Inauguration Day, in light of that being the building that Trump was in 2016, and now he's the 47th president-elect. So we were talking about this, and then this broke about the arrest in Pennsylvania McDonald's. We're like, oh, okay, pretty obvious. But of course, Trump is 78 years old right now. And Trump also had the assassination scare in Butler, which was a total hoax, just like how this story is a total hoax. Again, there's no proof any of this stuff happens other than the BS they report on the news, and that's all they report on the news is BS. And it's always numerically encoded. And see, that's the thing that's annoying too, right? It's like, here I am, the person for 11 years calling this stuff out before it happens. I mean, like literally the day before the July 13th hoax, I did a video literally the day before July 12th talking about the assassination hoax coming for Trump. And then the next day it happens. Did that go viral, or did people make websites about it? Not even one person like reshared the video. but then see some little dumb Q286 thing with a whole bunch of false facts. That's just viral all over the internet the next day. And this is what a lot of you guys don't catch on to. You just ride these viral waves. Pretty much everything that goes viral is complete BS. We've had the whole thing figured out since the story first broke within minutes. Hasn't gone viral at all, that we had it all figured out again. We called another thing. I mean, has anybody re-syndicated the work of how I called Jay-Z and Diddy would go down at ages 54? We called it out nearly a year before it happened. Nobody shares it. It doesn't go viral. Some BS 286 thing with 10 false facts and 10 true ones goes viral. Anyway, let me come down off that. Again, 78 goes with the Kennedy thing too. Remember, after the Trump assassination hoax, RFK Jr. got Secret Service protection from the Kennedy cursed family. And remember that the assassination hoax was on the 195th day of the year. Robert Kennedy equals 195. Corey Contemporary equals 195. That was the fireman who was killed in the year of the dragon. 78 cards in the tarot deck. Top cards are Trump cards. Trump, Jesuit educated, like Jesuit 78. Now, again, as we also pointed out, Altoona, Pennsylvania, and Butler, Pennsylvania are the exact same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And you see how Altoona, Pennsylvania is also 283? That's the 61st prime number. Again, Assassin 61, like Ides of March. But notice how CNN reported that he was arrested about 230 miles from the murder scene. 230, like Altoona, Pennsylvania, and Butler, Pennsylvania are both 230. Look at this. Who's Mr. 230? It's Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald in Gematria equals 230. And the funny thing about Lee Harvey Oswald is they said he was handsome. Right now, that's a big viral story. Jesse Waters was going, I think Jesse Waters, for the record, is a gay guy. He was very focused on how handsome this guy is. Jesse Waters is often talking about how handsome he is, but last night on his show, he was playing a bunch of gay liberal men talking about, you know, how sexy Luigi Mangione is. And Jesse Waters, I think, is also part Italian. But anyway, Lee Harvey Oswald, the handsome assassin. And I forgot to put the screenshot in here, so I'll write it out real quick. And for all you guys who don't take the time to do your own decodes, if a guy can do it with no sleep, with a baby in one arm, you can definitely do it too. Let's see. Lee Harvey Oswald, 230. I noticed the 77 as well, because that town, both towns have the 77. Interesting. DC's on the 77th meridian. United States is 77, like secret society. Anyway, about 230 miles. And that is true, because if you look on directions, it's 232 miles from the Midtown Hilton to the McDonald's at 407 in Altoona, PA. Okay, but again, from the July 13th hoax in Butler, which got RFK Jr. Secret Service protection. Again, RFK Jr. is now the head. He's the Secretary of Health, and he's somebody who's always pointed out how corrupt the health insurance industry is. But again, from that hoax connected to him and Trump to this one, 144 days later, again, Jesuit order and Kennedy curse, both 144 and 54. This was the assassination on 54th Street, executed on 54th Street. And they tell you the killing happened at 6:44 a.m. 6:44 a.m. Again, we called it out the day that RFK Jr. filed his paperwork, which was April 5th, 2023. We pointed out that day that he filed his paperwork to run on 4/5, which pointed to something happening to number 45, Trump, who's had all these assassination-related stories years in advance. The George Wallace parallels, the Trump tombstone, the supposed scare November 5th, 2016 in Nevada. But again, when RFK Jr. filed his paperwork, he did it 144 days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday. That's Arturo Sosa, born November 12th. And we said that day, we said, okay, 144 has to do with assassinations. Lincoln shot on 14/4, the day the Secret Service was created. His father, RFK, died at 1:44 in the morning on June 6, 68. JFK was shot 144 days from meeting with the Pope. Not to mention JFK lost his son right before that on August 9th, the day leaving 144 days left in the year. And JFK and RFK were both killed in locations that equal 54. Dealey Plaza equals 54, so does Ambassador Hotel. So now you have the assassination on 54th Street. God. Cable 54 from They Live. That Jesuit headquarters, the Church of the Jesu, Building 54. But here's what's funny too. The killer's name is Luigi, and he has different eyebrows than the guy in the photo that was shown days earlier. But and you think Luigi, everybody from our generation thinks Super Mario Brothers. Look at what day the Super Mario Brothers movie released. April 5th, 2023. That's the exact same day that RFK filed his paperwork to run for president. You know what I mean? What are the odds of that? And with regards to brothers, JFK and RFK, they were brothers, and they both got assassinated. And I was reading the plot of this movie. I haven't seen it, but in the plot, Luigi ends up imprisoned. So I was like, okay, isn't that where Luigi Mangione is right now? And again, in light of all the 47 in the Midtown Hilton Hotel and it happening 47 days before Inauguration Day, again, one more time, President, White House, government authority, Republican, Democrat, and even the letters DC equal 47. Again, DC is the Masonic city. They study the 47th problem of Euclid, which has to do with foundation, like this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. Again, we have the inauguration of the 47th president upcoming. But again, from this nation's birthday to the arrest was 158 days later. Again, at a McDonald's, where McDonald's and Burger King and hamburgers and Freemasonry all equal 158. And earlier this year, Morgan Spurlock, who did Super Size Me, died 158 days from the Pope's birthday. And he died on the 144th day of the year. And we talked about how it's clearly synced with Trump and the Jesuits when it happened. And all this stuff with McDonald's has unfolded since, including Trump serving French fries on Kamala's birthday. And again, on a food handler's permit, the new modern day answer is that you have to cook a hamburger to 158 degrees for it to be cooked. It used to be 160 degrees back when I got it, my food handler's permit, 20 some years ago. Now it's 158 degrees. And again, from Trump serving McDonald's French fries in Pennsylvania to the arrest was 50 days later. McDonald's is also 50. And he's there with Simba, Disney, Lion King, again, Donald, Lion in America, all 50. And you could also say, rather than 158 days after the nation's birthday, you could also say it was the 159th day of the nation's age. And Donald Trump and Scottish Rite both equal 159. And again, he had the supposed assassination story on the 15th of September, 15/9. Also, from the December 4th assassination to September 15th next year is a span of 286 days, September 15th, 2025. The Secret Service supposedly saved him on September 15th. The Secret Service is 159 years old this year. It was created the same day Lincoln was shot, April 14th, 1865. And from that to the arrest was 85 days later. The golf course assassination hoax to December 9th, 85 days. McDonald's also 85, like the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator. And again, they tell you that his grandfather from Baltimore, like the Pelosi's, wealthy and started working in masonry at age 11, the master number in numerology, when the Masons etch on the temple Allah's number. And that's because masonry is based in Kabbalah, and Kabbalah is very much based in numbers. Again, Kabbalah's Book of Formation states that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. The arrest on the 9th, the mention of 11. Again, the ghost gun thing fits in with New York and Altoona, as we covered. Ted Kaczynski's birthday, since they made him part of the story. to December 9th, 201 days later. Again, 201 is the number of the Jesuits. That's why the first Jesuit pope's the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican, and a million other things that we've covered a million times over the years. Supposedly, he was arrested with a New Jersey license from the 201 area code of fake ID with the name Mark Rosario. Look how Mark Rosario overlaps with Donald Trump and Scottish Rite, and it has that 159 as well, going with his arrest being on the 159th day of the nation's age, which is 248 years old, like President Donald Trump equals 248, like how the election was called for him in 2016 while he was in the Midtown Hilton Hotel, while there were 248 electoral college votes in for him. All things we've been talking about for years for why he'd be coming back as the latest Grover Cleveland. But again, if you got here late, 286 is the big mystery. What's with all the 286? Again, it's the Ides of March to remember the assassination of Caesar in 44 BC. And the Ides of March is in 101 days. And Ides of March has the 101 connection as well, like assassin. Covered all this at the beginning, including him being arrested one day after the anniversary, the 44th anniversary of Lenin being assassinated, the Lee Harvey Oswald parallel through the numbers and him being handsome. Again, Oswald, who killed the 44th term president. Donald Trump was the 44th person to be president. Again, yes, number 45, but because of Grover Cleveland split term, 44th person. And notice from Trump's birthday to the Ides of March is 274 days. Very special number to the Jesuits. Isus Hominum Salvator, what the IHS stands for in their logo, that equates to 274. And again, their logo is the sun. The Catholic Church has celebrated the sun's birthday on 12/25, what we call Christmas, since 274 AD. And again, you look at the gematria of Jesuit order. Remember, this year's election on November 5th was 144 days after Trump's birthday, kind of like how in 2020, when they called it for Biden, it was simulated by Jesuit Georgetown, June 12th, 2020, that he'd win 144 days for the election. Both Trump and Biden are Jesuit educated. Georgetown, for the record, was founded by 54-year-old John Carroll. Bo Biden equals 54. He died in a big Jesuit ritual 201 days before the Pope's birthday at age 46, before Biden was elected number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Again, Catholic equals 46, like sacrifice. Genesis 46 about sacrifice, 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. JFK killed at age 46. Trump born in 46. In reverse, Jesuit orders 153. 15th of March can be written that way, 15/3. Jesuit order also equals 72, like President Biden and President Trump, going with the first Jesuit Pope, Francis, being named on the 72nd day of the year. Paris also equals 72, where the Jesuits were founded. Their logo's the sun. These rituals in time, dictated by the sun, in accordance with a calendar given to us by the Jesuit priest Christopher Clavius. Again, at the end of the 16th century, the century of the Jesuits, the calendar implemented and English standardized as a 26-letter alphabet, both the work of the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. His posts, if you look at his posts on Twitter, focused on artificial intelligence, just a lot of things that are very relevant to the times. And in light of this whole PSYOP, the whole thing's probably worth studying. It's probably all telling us exactly. There's probably a lot of predictive programming here, honestly. So all these PSYOPs they're like part of they're clues in an ongoing story, because we're living out a script that was planned for us long ago. Just all these dumb little details, just total soap opera. Again, just to go back to the initial shooting last Wednesday, a week ago. Again, he became CEO April 1st. Somebody told me that he became CEO on April 7th. I'm still trying to confirm if that's true. I would not be surprised at all. April 4th would also be funny. But that was 44 months before he was assassinated. Again, shooting in Wednesday. It's the only day of the week that has the 44 gematria. And then there ended up being an elementary school shooting last Wednesday as well, if you caught that. A kindergarten was shot up in the Sacramento area. Maybe a Seventh-day Adventist school, if I remember correctly. Wednesday's so often full of shooting news. The CEO was Brian. 44 months, the CEO. Brian gets shot on a Wednesday. The company's out of Minnetonka near Minneapolis on the 44th parallel. Minnetonka is also 44. Again, Ides of March. Remember the killing of Caesar in 44 BC. 4 years ago, it was 44-year-old George Floyd was 46 years old, killed by the 44-year-old officer Derek Chauvin. That's how it was. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson equals 523, just like Donald Trump equals 523. And you know what? Let's go back and let's go back in light of that connection. Let's go back and revisit the death of Morgan Spurlock, who made the McDonald's documentary, because he was dead on 523. Aaron Donald's birthday. 523 is the 99th prime, like Aaron Donald equals 99, like he wore 99, like how in the 99th NFL season, the Patriots came in with 523 wins and then beat him in the Super Bowl. All things we called out before the season even began. Anyway, Morgan Spurlock, May 23rd in a leap year is the 144th day of the year. Donald Trump, 523 and satanic. Again, the news broke on May 24th, typically the 144th day of the year, the day that Trump was at the Vatican in 2017. But Morgan Spurlock, 195, synced with the Superior General, Raymond Albert Kroc, who made McDonald's what we know it as. You could also say he died 193 days after the Superior General's birthday, the 44th prime of cancer. Cancer, chemo, and kill all equal 44. If you watch Monday Night Football, Monday Moon Day, always cancer stories with players and kids that they sponsor. This week it was Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was sponsoring a kid battling cancer. Jamar Chase got 2 touchdowns to get to 44 for his career. Congrats to the winners. This stuff goes on every week, you guys. Again, the same people who run your federal government, your news, are the same Masons who created your National Football League. Walter Camp, 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, member of Skull and Bones, which identifies by an order. But yeah, May 23rd, 144th day. Meat must be cooked to 158 degrees, just same stuff. 158 days from the Pope's birthday. Ray Kroc died at 81. President Biden, President Trump, 81. I mean, just all the same stuff. Covered this numerous times in recent days. But yeah, the 523 thing is interesting because, again, this title right here, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, his full title. Look at this. Check this out. $523. It's also 172, like the Jesuit motto in Marum Dei Gloriam. The 152 is a number connected to the presidency itself. It's interesting. Okay, and then just to go over this one more time too, the words depose and delay found on the bullets. Again, they said depose was the one that they said that one was the fatal shot. Depose equals 26. We pointed out how that was on the day leaving 26 days left of the year. And then they got to come and tell you that the shooter was 26 years old. Remember how we were saying Ides of March is 101, and from the shooting to the Ides of March is 101 days? Again, Ides of March is an assassin 101. 101 is the 26th prime number. Coming back to the Ides of March thing. Depose, remove from office suddenly and forcefully. Think about how this could apply to something other than a CEO. Delay, 47, going with all the 47s. Again, 47 days before the inauguration was the shooting at the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel with 47 suites where Trump was, who's now the 47th president-elect. Again, in 2016, that's where he was the night of the rigged selection. This guy was 50 years old as well. McDonald's 50. Getting 50 days after Trump serves French fries, the shooter's arrested at a McDonald's. What a joke. His name, Brian Robert Thompson, 109. his birthday, July 10th, which can be written 10. Oh, he was born in 74 as well. Like the Ides of March is the 74th day of the year. But his birthday can be written 10/7. Look at it. Shooting 10/7, 107. We talked about how Wednesday and Brian equal 44 and 37, the Ides of March in 44 BC. Or the assassination was 44 BC. And then his full name, 109, like shooting. I mean, from his birthday to the shooting was 147 days. Remember what happened to Trump's ex-wife on July 14th? Remember that one? She fell down the stairs and died exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuit Nation year on the same day that he said that he'll be running in the next election. That wasn't his formal announcement that day, but that was the first day that he said he'd be running. Again, Donald Trump equals 60, but 14/7. Freemasons 147. The first degree of Freemasonry is the apprentice. Freemasonry equals 58, like how he won the 58th election the first time around. A lot of 58s on this story as well. But Freemason, U.S. President, and President of the United States, all 147. Brian Thompson. Brian Thompson was also from Iowa, which also equals 58. Brian Robert Thompson, his full name, 271, the 58th prime. And with regards to RFK Jr., it was exactly 46 weeks after his birthday. RFK equals 46, like Catholic, reminding what happened to his dad and his uncle. And this does happen in the time of Joe Biden, number 46, another Catholic Jesuit-educated man, but the 322 days stands out as well because that's the number of skull and bones, a.k.a. the Brotherhood of Death. So, yeah. All right. I think that's it for now. I smell a little something going on here. I think Sweet Girl might need a little diaper change. Got a little odor coming. Gematria says Zach, the killing came 45 days after October 20th. 11, 41, 45. Yeah, that's right. You could also say it was a span of 46 days, but of course, that reminds of how July 13th was 45 days after JFK's birthday anniversary, May 29th. May 29th is the 149th day of the year, which is the 35th prime, going with him being number 35, killed on I-35 plus Catholic equals 35. Yeah, so 45 again. Trump, number 45. Yeah, he was 45th president-elect in that building. Perfect. Good one, Gematria Sense. King Richard with another one says, also, the manifesto he wrote about was based on Kaczynski's book, Industrial Society and Its Future, equating to 129, like how he was arrested on 12/9. Yeah, and 129 is 201 in base 8 counting, and it was 201 days after Kaczynski's birthday. And again, 201 is highly associated with the CIA as well, and the MK Ultra program, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kaczynski was a part of that. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. Killing was 153 days after the nation's birthday. I suppose that would make sense because he was arrested 5 days later. Yeah, Jesuit order 153. You're right. Ides of March 15/3. Absolutely. The Illuminati 153. And you know, the Daniel Penny thing that's also viral in the news right now, and that's drawing parallels because people want to kill Daniel Penny and people are celebrating Luigi Mangione. Remember, from George Floyd getting kneeled on to Daniel Penny killing Jordan Neely on the Illuminati's birthday anniversary, May 1st. That was exactly 153 weeks later. And again, Jesuit order equals 153, just like the Illuminati equals 153. And the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, May 1st, 1776. So, yeah, great additions as always, gentlemen. Appreciate both of you. Appreciate the generosity and always the excellent additions. And with that said, I think it's diaper change time. I think it's time for a little diaper change. So for any new parents out there, here's my tip when you change diapers. After you take off the diaper and you clean up, let it air out for a few minutes. Unless it's just this one, but I noticed like so often the minute you try to put on that next diaper, they just go instantly. And now you've gone through 2 diapers. if you just let them wait a few minutes before you put the diaper on, they might go to the bathroom one more time. I think they get stimulated when when you're washing them down there. I think it like tickles them a little bit, and then out comes some more. So you're not doubling up on your diaper bill. Just give it a few minutes before you put on the next one. Isn't that right, little Ruby? All right. And seriously, if you're going to have kids, be prepared to have a lot less time in your life. That is for sure as well. But it's also very worth it. All right. Little sweetie pie right here. Felt like yesterday her face got a lot more mature. I was like, man, growing up so fast. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, truth seekers. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. And if you got here late, please start at the beginning. Till next time.